In the heart of India lies a village where an unthinkable tradition has taken root, where the oldest profession in the world has become a generational legacy. What dark forces shaped this community's destiny? Today we embark on a journey to uncover the raw truth and search for glimmers of hope in a sea of despair. Welcome to Untold Stories, where we shine light on the shadows that society often chooses to ignore. Our destination is Alwar, Rajasthan, a land where ancient fortresses stand guard over endless desert horizons. Yet beneath this majestic facade lies a heart-wrenching reality, where the chains of circumstance have turned prostitution from a last resort into an inherited destiny. Join us as we delve into this powerful story of survival against impossible odds. Remember to subscribe and become part of our community, dedicated to bringing hidden stories into the light. Part 1, A Tale of Two Indias. India stands proud as a nation of contrasts, where ancient traditions dance with modern aspirations in an intricate ballet of progress. This vast land of 1.4 billion dreams pulses with an energy that transcends time, each corner writing its own story in the grand narrative of human civilization. From the mystical peaks of the Himalayas to the pristine beaches of Kerala, India unfolds like a living masterpiece, where centuries-old temples pierce the sky, vibrant festivals ignite the senses, and modern cities buzz with innovation. In the global arena, India rises as a technological titan, its digital footprint expanding across continents, reshaping the future with each passing moment. But beneath this dazzling exterior lies a reality that many choose to ignore. In the shadows of progress, countless rural communities struggle against the cruel tide of poverty, where each sunrise brings new battles for survival. Nowhere is this contrast more striking than in Alwar, Rajasthan, a place where beauty and despair walk hand in hand. To the world, Rajasthan is an enchanting realm of maharajas and monuments, its golden fortresses standing sentinel over endless desert horizons. Yet step away from the tourist-trodden paths, and Alwar whispers a different tale. In these forgotten villages, time stands still while desperation grows deep roots. Hidden behind the picture postcard facades, entire communities have succumbed to an unthinkable fate, where prostitution becomes not a choice, but the only means of survival. The question echoes, why Alwar? The answer lies buried in the depths of rural poverty that plagues this region. As cities like Jaipur shine with modern luxuries, Alwar's villages suffocate in isolation, cut off from the lifelines of progress and opportunity. Here, poverty isn't just a temporary struggle, it's an inheritance passed down through generations, each child born into its unyielding grip. This stark divide between India's soaring dreams and its rural reality paints a portrait of a nation at odds with itself, where prosperity flows like a selective river, leaving vast stretches of humanity parched in its wake. What desperate circumstances could push entire communities down such a dark path? How did these villages become trapped in the cycle of despair? To find answers, we must venture into the shadows of Alwar, where hope flickers like a dying flame in the darkness of necessity. Part 2, The Hidden Reality of Alwar's Villages. Dawn breaks over a remote village in Alwar, where ancient traditions collide with harsh realities. As the desert sun bathes mud and straw dwellings in golden light, a seemingly peaceful scene masks a darker truth. Walking through these dusty streets reveals a heartbreaking sight. Young girls, their childhood stolen, line the roadways. Adorned in vibrant attire and heavy makeup, they stand as silent testimonies to a community's desperation. These aren't carefree teenagers awaiting friends or dreams. They're breadwinners trapped in an ancient cycle. Each morning unfolds with a grim routine as they prepare to meet clients, from weathered truck drivers to wealthy urbanites. Their earnings aren't for luxuries or dreams, but for life's most basic necessities: food on the table, medicine for the sick, and freedom from crushing debt. In these forgotten corners, entire family structures have warped around this devastating economy. Parents, siblings, and relatives survive on the sacrifices of their daughters and sisters, a burden that weighs heavier than the desert heat. This isn't about choice, it's about survival in its most desperate form. Generational chains. Here, prostitution isn't whispered about as a shameful secret, it's inherited like a family trade. The cycle spans generations, each one bound tighter by poverty's ruthless grip and society's indifference. Mothers, once victims themselves, now guide their daughters down the same dark path, not out of cruelty, but necessity. Fathers avert their eyes, powerless to offer alternatives, while brothers carry the weight of their helplessness. One young woman's words cut through the silence. "This life haunts me, but my family's survival depends on it." My mother bore this burden before me, and now it's mine to carry. The weight of silence. These villages exist in a bubble of collective silence, where neighbors see everything but say nothing. It's an unwritten code. Survival supersedes judgment, and silence preserves dignity. Yet this very silence feeds the cycle, ensuring tomorrow's daughters face the same fate as today's. But what forces carved this path? How did these communities become entangled in such a devastating web? To understand, we must delve deeper into the root causes, a toxic mixture of grinding poverty, systemic inequality, and generational debt. Part 3. Root Causes, a Cycle Without Escape. The Chains of Destitution. Deep within Rajasthan's majestic landscape lies Alwar, where a devastating reality unfolds, generations bound by the merciless grip of extreme poverty. Amidst barren fields and empty industrial zones, each day brings a desperate battle for basic survival. Like a dark inheritance, poverty here passes from parent to child, weaving an unbreakable web through time. One mother's haunting testimony captures this crushing reality. My dreams for my daughter were once as vast as the desert sky. Then my husband's passing left us with nothing, forcing us down a path I never imagined. In this harsh landscape, survival eclipses choice, a brutal testament to human desperation. Can you imagine a poverty so profound it becomes your family's legacy, shaping destinies before they even begin? The shackles of illiteracy. In the remote villages of Alwar, education shimmers like a mirage, forever out of reach. Young girls, their minds brimming with untapped brilliance, watch helplessly as their dreams evaporate into the dusty air. While nations worldwide champion literacy as a birthright, here it remains an unattainable treasure, as distant as the constellations that paint the desert nights. In these communities, where each day brings a brutal choice between sustenance and schooling, education becomes an impossible luxury. When empty stomachs growl, textbooks must wait. The rare few who manage to grasp the basics of learning face an even more devastating truth. These letters we've learned to write, they're like birds in a cage, unable to take flight in our reality. Their words echo through empty classrooms and abandoned dreams. Perhaps the cruelest twist in this tale is how education, meant to be a ladder to freedom, transforms into another weight, dragging these girls back into darkness. Knowledge without opportunity becomes yet another burden to bear. As this heartbreaking cycle continues, we're forced to confront a haunting question. Is education alone enough to break these chains, or must we first dismantle the very system that forges them? The chains of debt. Like a poisonous serpent, debt coils around these families, crushing their hopes and dreams with every tightening grip. In the shadows of desperation, predatory moneylenders circle like vultures, offering loans with interest rates that spiral into an endless abyss of debt. As families sink deeper into financial quicksand, an unthinkable transformation occurs. The sacred bond between parent and child becomes a cruel bargaining chip. Young daughters, their innocence still untouched by time, become unwitting pawns in this merciless game of survival. Their futures traded away in desperate attempts to appease ruthless creditors. Through tear-stained eyes, one child whispers her haunting truth. There was no discussion, no choice. The weight of my family's survival was suddenly placed upon my shoulders, and I had to carry it. Picture a world where childhood dreams are shattered before they can take flight, where young souls bear burdens that would break even the strongest adult. How does one recover from such profound betrayal? Part 4. Mira's Journey, From Darkness to Dawn. In the heart of Alwar, 19-year-old Mira's story unfolds like a delicate flower, blooming in harsh desert soil. Each dawn brings the same haunting ritual, a young woman preparing herself for a life she never chose. Her nimble fingers trace familiar patterns with makeup, her colorful attire a stark contrast to the weight in her heart. While her peers chase dreams of college and careers, Mira's reality is anchored to a single crushing purpose: survival. The endless parade of vehicles on the dusty road represents not opportunity, but necessity, each stop a step closer to feeding her family. A legacy of loss. Tragedy struck when her father's death left a void filled only with mounting debts and shattered dreams. Her mother, already bearing the scars of generational poverty, reluctantly embraced their community's dark inheritance. Mira soon found herself following this treacherous path, her childhood dreams dissolving like morning mist. This burden crushes my soul, but the thought of my siblings begging on streets weighs heavier still. Yet in this tapestry of despair, a thread of hope glimmers. Anaya, her 10-year-old sister, In Anaya's innocent eyes, Mira sees a chance to break the chains that have bound their family for generations. Education will be her wings to fly beyond these shadows. She must never know our pain. Each night, beneath the dim lamplight, Mira carefully sets aside precious rupees, building a bridge to Anaya's freedom. Hope's first light. Fate intervened when whispers of an NGO's presence reached Mira's ears. They offered more than just vocational training. They offered dignity, teaching women to weave their own destiny through needle and thread. With trembling hands but unwavering spirit, Mira stepped into their classroom. Though the needle pricked her fingers countless times, her determination never wavered. Slowly, steadily, her handiwork began drawing admiration and, more importantly, honest income. Each stitch became a statement of independence, each completed garment a victory over circumstance. The day I earned my first legitimate rupee, I tasted freedom, sweet, pure, and earned with dignity. Walking the tightrope. Yet freedom's path is treacherous, lined with thorns of resistance and doubt. Former clients' anger clashes with family pressure, creating a storm that threatens to sweep away her progress. In quiet moments, uncertainty whispers poisonous doubts into her ear. Darkness still calls, but Anaya's future shines brighter than my fears. Her tomorrow is worth today's struggle. Can one woman's courage overcome generations of tradition? Will her fragile dreams withstand the relentless tide of poverty? Mira's battle echoes through Alwar's narrow lanes, a testament to the indomitable spirit of women who dare to rewrite their destiny, one stitch at a time. Part 5. Efforts for Change. Is it enough? While the struggles in Alwar remain overwhelming, there are beacons of hope in the form of NGOs and grassroots initiatives working to break the cycle. These organizations recognize that the issue of prostitution in these villages is deeply rooted in systemic problems like poverty, illiteracy, and lack of resources. Education, the key to breaking the cycle. One of the most impactful ways to change the future is by educating the next generation. NGOs have established schools in some villages, offering free education to girls who would otherwise be forced into prostitution. Education gives these girls a chance to dream beyond the confines of their circumstances. Anaya, Mira's younger sister, now attends one of these schools. She comes home every day with stories of what she learned. She talks about becoming a teacher one day. For the first time, I feel hope for her future. However, these schools often face challenges. Limited funding, many rely on donations and struggle to keep their doors open. Resistance from families. Some parents, desperate for income, hesitate to send their daughters to school. Vocational training, a path to independence. For women trapped in this cycle, vocational training emerges as a beacon of hope, illuminating a path toward freedom and self-reliance. In the heart of Alwar, transformative programs equip women with life-changing skills. The delicate art of sewing and embroidery, where each stitch weaves a story of resilience. The creation of exquisite handcrafted jewelry and textiles, turning raw materials into works of art. Essential business acumen, empowering women to build their own enterprises from the ground up. Through these transformative skills, women discover a path to both financial freedom and personal empowerment, blossoming into confident individuals who can shape their own futures. However, a harsh reality casts a shadow over these rays of hope. The overwhelming demand for assistance vastly exceeds what current programs can provide. Psychological and medical support. The deep-seated trauma endured by these women leaves invisible scars that require careful healing. Their journey is marked by the lasting impacts of physical violence, emotional wounds, and severe health complications. Silent battles they fight daily. NGOs have begun providing counseling services to help women and girls process their trauma. Health checkups to address untreated medical conditions. Workshops on self-care to empower them to prioritize their well-being. For years, I felt like I wasn't even human, one woman shared. But now, I'm learning to see myself differently. Economic alternatives, breaking the chains of poverty. Long-term transformation demands more than temporary solutions. It requires sustainable economic opportunities that can uplift entire communities from despair. Across these villages, dedicated NGOs are pioneering innovative industries, from intricate weaving to sustainable farming, creating dignified employment opportunities that restore hope and humanity. In the heart of Alwar, a remarkable women's cooperative has blossomed, crafting exquisite textiles that now grace boutiques in Jaipur and Delhi's bustling markets. This initiative transcends mere income generation. It has woven together a tapestry of sisterhood, purpose, and renewed dignity. Together, we're not just earning money, we're weaving dreams, supporting each other, and building a future we never thought possible. Yet, a haunting question remains. Can these seeds of change grow strong enough to uproot generations of poverty and exploitation? Or will the deep-rooted cycle prove too resilient to break? The challenge is ahead. Despite these efforts, progress is slow. For every girl who escapes the cycle, there are many more who remain trapped. Systemic issues like corruption in local governance, societal stigma against women who try to leave prostitution, and a lack of widespread support for these programs. These barriers make it difficult to achieve lasting change. We're planting seeds of hope, one NGO worker explained, but it will take years, perhaps generations, to see the full harvest. The work being done in Alwar is a reminder that change is possible, but it requires collective effort. From supporting NGOs to raising awareness, every action counts. The women and girls of Alwar deserve more than survival. They deserve a chance to thrive. Part 6, a call for awareness. What can you do? How you can make a difference. Share their stories. Every voice amplified brings us closer to change. Share this documentary to illuminate these hidden struggles and inspire action. Empower through support. Your contributions to verified organizations can provide education, healthcare, and vocational training, transforming lives one person at a time. Create local impact. Change begins at home. Connect with organizations in your community fighting similar battles and become part of the solution. This journey through Alwar's shadows has shown us both humanity's darkness and its resilient spirit. Together, we can help write a new chapter of hope. Join our community. Subscribe to continue uncovering powerful stories that need to be told. Your engagement helps amplify voices that deserve to be heard. Share your thoughts below. Which untold stories should we illuminate next? Until next time, remember, awareness is the first step toward change.